The Jack Welch Management Institute at Strayer University helps you go from, I know the way, to I've arrived with our top 10 ranked online MBA. Gain skills you can learn today and apply tomorrow. Get ready to go from make it happen to made it happen. And keep striving. Visit strayer.edu/Jack Welch MBA to learn more. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This is Optimal Work Daily. The 5 Biggest Assumptions I've Made About Business, Part 2, by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. Myth: 9 out of 10 businesses fail the first year. This is just simply wrong. There's this myth that starting a business is very risky simply because most businesses fail. There's 2 ways to look at this. The first is, how many people incorporate a business and still have that business running a year later? Most businesses are still around even after 3 years. Many of the businesses no longer exist because they were either sold or because the founder made enough money or executed some other exit strategy, went to work for one of their clients, merged with a competitor, liquidated, made enough money, etc. There are many reasons a business might end that are not related to failure. One time I had a business that was doing just fine. We were profitable, we had customers, etc., but we weren't growing. And I wanted to put more time into ventures that I had that were growing, so we shut down the business. We didn't fail. We were profitable and doing well when we ended it. It's true that a lot of venture-funded companies fail, but that's because venture capitalists are usually horrible investors and have no clue what they're doing. The average company starts with a product or service they can sell immediately and become profitable. These companies survive and usually do well. The role of psychology. Many entrepreneurs focus on their product or service and how they can market it and deliver value to customers. Fine. But this is about 50% of the story. The other 50% is the sheer amount of time you have to spend talking with your partners about the psychology of dealing with shareholders, employees, customers, board members, regulators, and on and on. With every business I've ever been involved in, at least 50% of the time or more, I spend talking about people rather than talking about the product. Maybe this is a bad thing and why I'm not running a trillion-dollar company, but I find this to be true of most small businesses. One time I was on the board of a small but growing company in the social media space. The CEO-founder was a very smart guy who had developed a great product, but we didn't have enough customers, and his burn rate, his expenses, were too high. I called him after we got the quarterly board report. "You only have 6 months of cash in the bank," I told him. "Yeah," he said, "we'll raise money in 4 months and that'll keep us going." "You don't understand," I said. "You're already out of business. It's too late." 6 months is the minimum amount of time required to raise money. It takes 2 to 3 months to visit investors. It takes 2 to 3 months to finish the legal. And that's in a perfect scenario. And if investors smell that you only have a month of expenses left, they will not invest, or they'll try to destroy you and all the prior investors. I had to spend all my time convincing the other board members to then strategize how to convince the CEO to hire a bank and start selling the company. He refused for a long time, so we kept trying to figure out the psychology of how to deal with this. Finally, he sold the company when we were 3 hours away from missing payroll 6 months later, and even then, one of the board members didn't like the deal, and I had to be on the phone all night with him and his lawyer convincing him this was his only hope. The CEO walked away with $6 million in the bank. You're welcome. My brother-in-law and I were in the middle of selling our first company. It was so stressful, we couldn't take it. Where were the lawyers' docs? They promised them 5 weeks ago. What was going to happen? Would we sell? Would we go out of business? Did we waste too much time focusing on the sale instead of getting customers? I said, let's go. We went a block away to a gun firing range. We took lessons in firing rifles. We spent an hour shooting at a target. While we were shooting, I forgot about everything. Lawyers, acquisitions, the customers that wanted to meet me to discuss this or that. It was just my friend, partner, and brother-in-law and I shooting guns at a practice range, not knowing at all what we were doing. just wanting to have fun. If you can't make it fun, it's not worth doing. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled The 5 Biggest Assumptions I've Made About Business by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com.
Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
And thank you again to James. He has founded or co-founded over 20 companies and published 20 books. He's also a contributor to the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, TechCrunch, and the Huffington Post. James is an entrepreneur and a writer, an investor, a trader, and a podcaster. And you can hear him interview a bunch of talented people on his podcast, which is called The James Altucher Show. So definitely check that out. So I think that's going to do it for me today. I, of course, thank you for being a subscriber and a daily listener. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.